Welcome to this Bridgewater Now update. I'm John Luck. Over the past few weeks, there has been a social media effort looking to help make the day of a 9-year-old local girl. Mary Alice tried to undergo extensive surgery last week at Children's Hospital. This was Mary Alice's 4th surgery and 8th time under anesthesia. This past Friday, all of the cards and gifts that people sent to Mary Alice to help her through her latest recovery were unveiled to the 9-year-old girl for a great reaction.
See all this?
Yeah.
It's all for you.
What?
It's all for you. What do you think?
That's a lot of cards.
Hundreds and hundreds of cards were on display from around the town, the state, country, and globe to help make the day of this 9-year-old girl. Kelly Trida, Mary Alice's mother, thanks everybody who has sent cards and gifts to help with this recovery process.
Thank you so much. This makes recovery a little more fun. This makes recovery, this gives us some activities to do. Just thank you so much to the entire community. We've only been in Bridgewater for a year, so to have this kind of outpouring, so many of these cards are just from local area. So this is tremendous. So thank you.
We'll have much more on this coming up on the next edition of the Bridgewater Review. And there's still some time left. If you'd like to send a card, you can send it to the address on your screen over the next few weeks. On the last episode of the Bridgewater Review, we told you that the Bridge Street Bridge would be under construction starting this past weekend. The project has been delayed for a couple of weeks, so the construction will now start on September 10th. Both lanes will be shut down on the bridge, so Riverview will be the last street that can be accessed leading up to the bridge. If you'd like more information or have questions regarding the project, you can call the Roadways Department at 508-697-0931. A quick reminder for residents around town, the next couple of weeks will feature some of the busiest travel with the school district and the university starting classes again. If you want to avoid the major backups around the university, look to avoid Plymouth Street, Summer Street, and pack your patients around the Common, especially during the morning commute and around the afternoon commute as well. Also look for backups around Route 104 and Pleasant Street as school and BSU traffic end up merging together. Of course, around town, make sure to give yourself a few extra minutes while the school bus stops. Travel will become a little bit easier as the month goes on, but this is usually the 2-week stretch where backups can occur. Time for a check of weather with Jeff Fowler, and the heat continues. And of course, a big issue with classes starting back up right now is most of, if not all of the classrooms don't have air conditioning. But Jeff, students may only have to deal with the high heat for a short time because there's some relief coming, right?
Well, John, yes, superintendents are already anguishing over whether or not they're going to have to delay or cancel classes this week because of all that heat and humidity. Kind of ironic that a lot of districts started early to try to give themselves some extra snow days, and they may have to use a snow day or two this week. Now, for Bridgewater, I think we're close enough to a sea breeze front that we may actually get away with a bit cooler conditions tomorrow and before we spike up again on Thursday. We'll talk about that in just a moment. The headlines this afternoon really are going out to the Atlantic into our tropical weather that has really ticked up very quickly here over the past few days. Of course, we had such a slow start to the Atlantic hurricane season, and now we are picking up with 3 systems that we're keeping an eye on. We have a very strong tropical storm, almost Hurricane Gordon, now approaching the Gulf Coast. Florence is a hurricane in the central Atlantic, and then we have another system just south of the Cape Verde Islands that we'll be keeping an eye on over the next week to 10 days. Let's start with Florence, which again is a strong tropical, well, actually it's a now hurricane that has been building throughout the weekend. I think that same high that has been giving us the heat and humidity should protect us from Florence as she tries to move to the west-northwest, but then will probably recurve out to sea. There are a few models that still want to try to bring Florence a bit more to the west, but history tells us that typically when storms get to this latitude, they generally start to move out to sea. So we'll keep an eye on it. Florence coming in right now with wind gusts of 92 miles per hour. So this is a pretty formidable hurricane now, sustained winds at 75. And again, there's the cone of uncertainty, as they call it, for the rest of the week here. But again, the general idea is that Florence will want to move off to the west-northwest and then recurve back up to the north and probably out to sea. But until that happens, we will have to keep an eye on Florence. So that is storm number 1. Storm number 2 is Gordon, and Gordon's certainly grabbing a lot more headlines here with the proximity to land. Already we've had tropical storm conditions being felt across the state of Florida, and now We have Alabama, Mississippi, and Louisiana under the gun. So we have hurricane warnings in effect for the Alabama and Mississippi coastlines, and we have hurricane watches in effect for parts of the Florida Panhandle and also the Louisiana coast. Track is very important because anywhere to the right of the track, that's where you're going to have the strongest winds and also the strongest surge, which is important on the Gulf, of course, because we have all those low-lying areas. A lot of Louisiana and Mississippi, for example, have land areas that are below sea level. But we have noticed the track here, and it's been slowly curving a bit more, jogging a bit more to the north. So it does look like the center is going to come in somewhere right around the Mississippi coastline, which will be good news for folks in Louisiana, especially New Orleans, which would end up having an offshore wind. There's still a little bit of a pileup because of the configuration there, but obviously the heaviest storm surge would be off to the right of the storm. So it's the Florida Panhandle and Mississippi Gulf Coast that are under the gun. Either way, there'll be some heavy rains moving across that area as we go through the night tonight. Here's the future cast for these two systems, as we just talked about. Again, Florence probably going to take a track similar to this and then eventually get caught up in the wind direction here in the jet stream and move out to sea. And we have Gordon that will be moving into the Midwest. Now, some of Gordon may get involved in a front here in a storm system late week that will try to track just to the north of New England. We'll have to keep an eye on that. It could lead for some heavier rain here, say Sunday night or Monday across parts of New York State and parts of New England. We'll watch that. That's been one of the headlines. The other headline has been the return of the heat and humidity. It went away for parts of the weekend, but it's back here across New England, at least for today. There may be a backdoor front that may change things a bit. But the front that's really going to take away all this heat and humidity right now is situated in the central part of the country. And tomorrow that front's going to be moving a bit off to the east, so it'll be situated generally in the eastern Great Lakes. But you can see here we have a little bit of a backdoor front across New England with high pressure trying to dig down. I think that's going to give us an east or northeasterly breeze at times, which will cut the temperatures back a bit. It'll still be hot at the peak of the day, but I think the humidity will back off a bit. Here's what we're talking about. Notice the real field temperatures, which have been near the triple digits here for most of the month of August, but now we're backing off. It'll still be near 90 by tomorrow afternoon, but it will feel like a drier 90. You'll understand what I mean if you step outside tomorrow. That's important, of course, because it is the first day of school, as we just talked about. So for tonight, we're going to have generally clear skies, a little bit of fog building later on, low temperatures in the mid-60s here. It'll be a bit warmer in some of the urban areas as per normal. Now tomorrow, we'll have highs back into the mid-80s, but as I mentioned, with that backdoor front, we're going to have an east and northeasterly breeze, especially right around the shore, and that's going to keep temperatures a bit cooler, generally right around 80 degrees if you're heading out towards Plymouth or P-Town or even down in Dennis, for example. Boating, beaching tomorrow look really nice if you're not going to school, and if you can get a getaway day tomorrow, maybe play a little hooky, mostly sunny skies out at the beach, temperatures in the upper 70s to lower 80s with again, a southeasterly breeze around Plymouth and maybe an easterly to northeasterly breeze out further out towards the Cape. But also notice low tides tomorrow afternoon, so we'll have plenty of real estate if you're looking for a perfect spot along the sand, but do bring the sunscreen. Sunburn index will still be on the high side. If you happen to be heading to school tomorrow, it is the first day of school for the Bridgewater-Rainham Regional District, and we'll have dry conditions. No problems weather-wise. There will be some clouds around tomorrow morning, but those will start to fade away as we go through the afternoon, and again, highs in the mid-80s. So as we look at the rest of the week, there could be some showers and thunderstorms around on Thursday. We'll keep an eye on it. Right now, it does look like those storms could come in later on Thursday night, but it's still a day or two away. So we'll have to watch that. It's important because, of course, we had Music Alley, the last performance of the season on Thursday evening. And we also have the first game of the season for the Bridgewater-Rainham football Trojans. Be taking on Duxbury Thursday night at 7 o'clock. That's a rescheduled game, by the way, originally scheduled for Friday. Now will be played on Thursday, weather permitting. So we'll keep an eye on, especially having any lightning around that could cause a problem. Friday, I've got a few showers in there, but I think for the most part, it'll be kind of just a cloudy day with some partial sunshine. Again, a sprinkle or two as some cooler air moves in. We'll be in the mid-70s on Friday and Saturday, but it may be low 70s on Sunday. We'll have to watch. It looks a little funky right now. Could be an easterly breeze coming in. It could be a little humid and a little showery. But you know what? Models did say that last Sunday was going to be like that. And of course, it ended up being a very nice day. So we'll watch it. We'll have a few days to do that, and we'll update you later in the week. For now, I'm Jeff Fowler. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Jeff. Looking at sports today, the Bridgewater State football team opened the 2018 season in dramatic fashion at Swenson Field, beating Buffalo State 30-29. It was a back-and-forth game going into the fourth quarter when junior running back Nick Sanavica gave Bridgewater State the 30-23 lead, but Jamar Rutledge made a tremendous catch in the corner of the end zone to put the Bengals within one. Buffalo State went for two and the win, but Kevin Torello's pass was incomplete in the back of the end zone, sealing up Bridgewater State's first win of the season, already getting halfway to the win total from a year ago. BSU looks to get win number 2 Friday night against Endicott College. That game is on the road. Thanks for watching this Bridgewater Now update. I'm John Luck.